Hello, traders. This is Ad Zeros, and somebody asked me about it. How do I play some of my trades? How do I make the mark the levels? How I find the support and resistance on any of these stocks? So here you go. I'm gonna teach you and break down by bar my plan. How do I look at it? What does my daily look like? What do I see? How do I execute my trades? So I'm going to walk you through whole of my trading process. And I want to give a courtesy credit to the Bearable traders. I'm using their free replay area for making the video. So I'm going to have a live action by replaying feature where you can go back in the past and, pull the day and then you can play a bar by bar. So I'm going to walk you through how do I trade. So let's stay tuned and let's mark the level first. All right, let's look at the daily one. So I've looked at today is the August 29th, is a Tuesday, and what we're looking at the Tesla right now. So what we see in the Tesla, that it has the clear downtrend for the last few weeks, which is the August and the last week of July. And right after the right after the this day where we have the reversal candle and then we have a nice bullish day and then we have the 1, 2, 3 and 4 days of consolidation. On the fifth day it broke up, but as a closed the gap and couldn't move, have the momentum. Now what we're looking at it from this kind of a structure is that we have the clear change of trend. It is above the 50 moving day moving averages. But now what we don't know that whether it has a continuation of the momentum or not. So for this kind of scenarios, what is very important is to mark the daily level. So for us, the daily mark level is, you can clearly see that this big candle what we have here, high of this candle is the 44. And the previous consolidation, what we had here is the 240.95 or 240 we can mark it. The reason being the 240 would be key level because it's a psychological whole number which can break down. But we know the 240 and 241 has a grayish area where we can see some sort of a resistance around that. From the support perspective, we know that the low of the previous day, which is the Monday, is 235, and then we have the some lows uh, around the previous candle opening, which is 238.82. So these are the levels I'm going to mark here. All right, once you finish the levels from the daily, you need to go back to the 60 minutes candle and see that how does 60 minutes look like. So we can clearly see that some of the actions, what we see here, it is it is basically within those levels which we have marked on the daily. So we can clearly see that in the pre-market of the August 29th and the day before has some sort of a price action between the 240 and the 237. So that clearly shows that there is some sort of a compression going on around the $3 because the Tesla has over $8 or $9 ATR. ATR is the average true range for each day. So we have a $9 range, and there is a compression going on from last 2 days in the after the morning sessions between the 237 and 240. So now what we really wanted to see that whether it explode right on the top side where we can go long or is going to break down under the lows and going to retest those levels. Okay. All right. So after looking at the 60 minutes, what I usually go, I look at the 30 minutes now. So in 30 minutes, we can clearly see the similar picture what we see here. We don't see anything different. Uh, Same here. We have already have the supports and resistance marked. We can clearly see in today's pre-market action, we have the clear resistance around 240. So uh, we can clearly mark that as well because it's a pre-market high. And then we can see that the pre-market low is around 237. So this way we can clearly see that in the pre-market we have almost $3 range again, as we have identified in the daily levels and in the 60, on the 60 minutes as well. So now what the last thing what we need to do is to go into the 5 minutes candle and just see that whether we see some sort of a patterns or in a or some sort of a trend within that. So now if I go back here and see uh, after those marking levels, we can clearly see right now every time it move try to move up on the resistance is pushed hard so badly, then move back up, sold off. But we can clearly see that in the last time when it came down after 8 o'clock, uh, we couldn't have that momentum to go back, move back up, but test, but we didn't have the momentum to even break that. So we see clear support on 237, and then before the market is opening up, that's where you see a big candle coming in. Now let's go back in the 1 minute. So we see that, some run in the pre-market. So I think so when this sort of things happen when the stock run before the pre-market, I do not like that stuff because it's just messed up some of the risk reward ratios. Given the expansion happen before the market opens. Now let's look at it on one side. I'm going to put the 5 minute or other chart. I'm going to put the 1 minute candle, and then as we have seen, our game plan is to look at the price action and find some sort of a strategy to go long. And when we see the things are breaking out around 240, or if we find some entries around this level and take the profit around 240, and if it's break, then we can have the continued momentum and then we can add, or if it's break down, then we will stop out if we go long here. And on the retest, if we want to go back short again and end. But I'm really towards the bullish side on this stock, given the way it has been consolidating in the last few days. So let's go, how does it work? And then we're going to try to trade that. So let me open the time and sales are open, and let's see the price action when I'm going to play now. So you can see here the very nice big momentum 500,000 shares on just a single 1 sec, less than 10, 15 seconds. And then so this clearly shows that really a nice momentum volume coming in. And that is basically a continuation of what we see in the last few uh, candles before the market opens. So again, we see that the when it tried to move back close to 240, we see some sort of a resistance, and see here it is again trying to push down and then leaving the topping tail here. So here, see this first minute candle is very important. It's try to break. Do you see that it's breaking out, coming close, couldn't close, and it is moving back up. I think this is a sign for me. If it's gonna break this candle, I'm gonna go long because this clearly shows that the big momentum coming in. Look at it, the way it break, and our stop loss would be the low of this candle. So it didn't break. About to stop out, but it didn't break yet. Okay, still we're in the trade right now. All right. If it's gonna continue that momentum ups on the upside, we can even add that. But it's nice, is a consolidation happening between those levels. Again, the retest of the moving average in the prior low from here. I'm gonna add that. And then on my first potential target would be the 240, which we find out the resistance. And if we get the break of the resistance, that would be the awesome thing. And if not, then we're gonna take the profit close to that. We'll see how does it work. So now it is almost a third candle. Again, I see some sort of resistance here, but make sure when this happens and you see the resistance, you do not need to let this go into the red now. Okay. If it's gonna go break 233, 239.50 in the next candle, I'm gonna take the partial. All right, I'm ready. I see some resistance over here. It's not letting it break, so I took some partial off just to, we have some profit in place. So I took the half off. There's no point in the first few minutes to take too much risk. And now the rest of the thing, we're gonna put it on the break even. Okay, so this is very nice. Sorry, this is very nice momentum here. Again, retouches the prior low, prior opening candle or the close, and then move back early. So this is really nice. Shows that the buyer's momentum. Now, if we have the 1 minute flag or breakout on the top, you can definitely rely on that, given it is the way it is moving, right? But see that that's also we call that the tape is thick. The moment it try to move back up, is immediately sell off. But now it's still positive over the moving averages, over our initial entry. Uh, for us, we need to make sure that our the stock doesn't go below this level, otherwise it's going to be stopped. And this is another sign that how strong it is. Look at this. So we can add that given it is breaking out. Okay, the moment is going to break and all the resistance, we're going to take the partial. Let's see, does it hold that above? See, look at the volume coming in, it's breaking out. We can easily gonna break this level now. Take about a push off, a little bit more off here. I don't want to make the video very long, but I think this is what I want to teach you, that when I look at the opening ranges, how do I play the opening range? What like kind of resistance and levels I decide? How do I decide? And I look for the compressions and see that does those compressions hold true based on my thesis? If not, then I just bail out. And you can go back to the my previous recap. I exactly traded a similar way on my live trade as well. So it's not something you're trading it after the fact, but looking at it, oh, this has a momentum day, so that's why I'm trading like that. So you always need to make sure that you take the profit on a timely basis. You do not need to let the trade go against you by just expectations that the stock is going to move up. So if you like this kind of videos, give me a thumbs up, and feel leave your some comments back there so I know that this is the way you want to look at it, and I'm gonna make for few more videos like this. Thank you.